Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a magic review. Now, this is a magic review. It might feel like a deck review because it is just a deck of cards. This is just a deck of cards. It's a deck of cards printed from the United States Playing Card Company, who makes the best cards on the planet. This deck, the Identity deck, designed by Phill Smith, you're going to be able to use these for card readings. And the instructionals videos that you get will be a huge pile of mentalism and reading tricks, and we'll get into that. And if you've watched my channel, you know that I've got several videos devoted to cartomancy, right? Several videos devoted to cartomancy and decks of cards that you could use for cartomancy, decks of cards that you could do to do mentalism style effects, and the Identity deck is one of them. Phill Smith, awesome. Let's get into it. All right, the Identity deck from Phill Smith. This was a Kickstarter. It was a Kickstarter last year and got fulfilled this year, and been waiting for this deck for a super uber long time. And the great thing is, even if you didn't pick these up, you can still find these right now. They are for sale at miscellaneousmiracles.co.uk. If at the end of this video you think this might be something you'd want to pick up, definitely want to head on down there, as I think it is the only place where you can purchase these. If we take a look at the tuck case, we'll notice that the back is the front and the front is the back. You'll see here on the front, there's some of the back design pattern here, and across there, the title, it doesn't say the Identity deck. Right? In fact, it doesn't say the Identity deck anywhere on this. It says something completely different. And that's so if you're doing a magic trick with someone and they decide to Google the name that they saw on the tuck case, they won't get an explanation or a magic advertisement. So the deck tuck case covers you so that there's no reverse lookup on the internet. They're not going to go out on the internet and try to find this deck of cards. It says 52 personality system cards for all uses. And then it says it's manufactured by United States Playing Card Company. One side says deck of life for all uses, and the other side says the same. You got a little symbol there. The bottom has a little crib here, and it says find your lucky card, your fate awaits. The back features a bunch of different photographs from different places, different scenes from nature, and of course you have a barcode there. Right there it does say 2019 and that they were made from Phill Smith. The top says the name of the fake deck. I'm not even going to say it out loud. Not even going to say it out loud so Google Translate doesn't hit me either. And again, it says for all uses. That's pretty much it for the tuck case. Let's take a look at the cards. The back design is marked. That's right. The back design is a marked card. It is marked with a very unique constellation reader system. So they're not marks that you have to decipher. You'll actually see numbers and letters on the back, and the cards can be quickly and easily identified from a distance at a glance, meaning that you can always stay one step ahead in every single one of your tricks. The system requires no decoding, no working out. If you can see the back, you will instantly know the card, but it's hidden in such a unique way, Phill Smith's famous way. He always has great systems for hiding reveals. Your spectators will never, ever see it. With this deck, you'll get a double backer, and you'll get a barcode UPC that's going to take you out to the internet and give you access to all of your instructional videos. And the other side has a quick crib. Also with this deck, you'll get two Joker cards, and they kind of represent polar opposites. You can see one's going up, one's going down. They both say Joker. This says positive, yes, truth, and yang. And this one says negative, no, lie, and yin. Going through the cards, the first thing you're going to see is they're not in order, right? They're not in order. They're actually in a stack. They're in a stack that Phill Smith will teach you. The other thing you'll notice is the coloring at the top. See that red bar, black bar, green bar, yellow bar? That is the color coding system for the suits. So if you can see, your club is green, diamonds yellow, spades black, right? Hearts red. And then you'll see that repeat throughout. So if you did want to put your deck in deck stack, it'd be really easy because you just look for the colors. Going through the cards really quick, I'll just show you the breakdown, show you the anatomy of a card. Right here we have a club. So there's the green bar at the top, and you'll have an indice and a pip in each corner. So you could use this for standard card tricks if you felt so inclined. Right here in the center, you're going to have a personality archetype. Every single card has a different personality archetype, every single one. Well, except for the courts, and we'll get to that. So this one says the campaigner and has a little symbol of a microphone. Now you'll also notice that the microphone symbol is in each corner here. And so if you are able to memorize all the different archetypes, a simple peek down just at the corner would reveal to you which archetype they had chosen or which one they had looked at. Underneath this, you'll get a little reading right here. So it's a very small, very quick reading for the campaigner or for any archetype card that you have. So I did mention that the court cards were different, and so I'll just give you an example of a court card. There are 12 courts in the deck, right? So then the natural thing to do would be to use all 12 courts for the zodiac signs. So really great, you could separate all your courts out, and then you'd have a little deck of zodiac symbols that you could do for readings as well. Or you could incorporate a zodiac reading into a personality reading. Of course, you're going to hit their personality and you'd reveal their zodiac sign. So again, we're going to have suit and pip in each corner. We're going to have the icon for the zodiac sign. We're going to have the name of the zodiac sign and the birth dates that they fall under. And you'll also notice that in each card, there's kind of like a watermarked photograph that's in the background that really adds to the card itself. And every single card has a different picture, which really is a testimony to Phill Smith's incredible design work. All right, so what's the overall quality and production value of the video? You're gonna get 9 files to download. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to move back and forth between one file to find what you want. Every file is uniquely labeled. So if you want to go back and find one trick, or you want to go back and find the seminar on giving a reading, you can just go straight to it. The 9 files are, you're going to get an intro video, which is 5 minutes long. It's just Phill talking to a stationary camera. He's sitting in the shed, is what he calls it. You do get a couple of close-ups. Everything's well mic'd. They're going to be easy to get your information from. The next file is called the archetype trick. That's 8 minutes long. The next one is called the icon trick, and it's 9 minutes long. You'll then get a 6-minute file about how to use the crib, so that if you were doing a personality reading and you wanted to remember what the crib was, you can keep the crib card someplace else. That way you don't have to memorize the entire deck. Then there's a 4-minute file, how you could do a zodiac, any card to any number. This is a really cool, really quick, awesome trick. Then there's a 13-minute file called the number stack effect. And then the last one is the easy mode stack, and that's 9 minutes long. Then you're gonna get a 44-minute seminar. That's right, a 44-minute seminar. It's a full lecture from Peter Antonio, and he's gonna tell you how to use this deck for real. So you're gonna get a 44-minute seminar on giving very authentic readings. Now, Peter admits right away, there's more than one way to do a reading. You don't have to present yourself as a psychic or a clairvoyant or somebody who can see the future. He doesn't present himself that way with any magical powers, but you're still able to give somebody a story, right? You tell them a story, you reveal things about themselves, maybe unlock some things that they weren't aware of. It's all very above board. He's not delving into the mystic arts or anything like that. He's talking about how to make a real connection with somebody, how to make your reading of them feel real, right? Without seeming too spiritual or too mystic, which I liked. But again, 44 minutes, and this is from a guy who does this for a living. Tours doing this. So just that one video in and of itself, massive amount of information, totally worth your purchase. There's also an earlier file in there. It's 23 minutes long. It looks like maybe it was shot before all of these, but Phill Smith includes it as well. Are they well made? Like I said, United States Playing Card Company. You can't get much better than that. This deck should last you a good long time. You're not going to probably put it through the ringer like you would a standard deck, right? I'm sure you could do some card tricks with it if you wanted to. I probably would lean away from that just because of the type of cards they are. I think if you're gonna buy this deck, then obviously you're gonna use it for something else, right? Mentalists don't necessarily do the same kind of tricks, like, you know, pick a card, lose a card, find a card type tricks. So I'm guessing you'll probably take care of this a little better, probably spend more time doing overhand shuffles than bending your cards. I think the more you take care of it, obviously, it could last you a good long time. Positives. All right, so what are the positives? I love the identity deck, and I love it when people create decks of cards that don't necessarily have to be used as a deck of cards. You can create something that can do several different routines, and that maybe is something the spectators have never seen before, something that they would dial into. I mean, if you just pull out a deck of cards and say, let's do a card trick, some people might be like, oh, great, here's a card trick, right? Seen a million of them. But you pull something like this out of your pocket, people have never seen this before. They don't know what it is. So you've changed the look of it, right? Changed the faces, changed the backs, and immediately becomes something new. It's really a classic. You're really dusting off a classic, right? But they don't know that. And so I think this becomes something that becomes more memorable, and certainly you have a way of touching something personal and real in someone, whereas a card trick is gonna look the same, feel the same from person to person to person. With something like the identity deck, it takes on a different aspect once you start including them personally in this, start talking to them, learning things about them, revealing things to them. This can be a very powerful tool. Negatives. All right, so what are the negatives? Phill Smith is always so good at hiding the marking system. Sometimes I would argue that he's a little too good. He's a little too good. These are not obvious. And I think that's a pet peeve with Phill Smith. He doesn't like obvious markings. He does not like obvious markings, and he is the graphic designer that is going to hide the markings in such a way that the magician really has to practice with these cards. Now again, I'm going to say it, there's nothing to decipher. There's no code, right? But I found for me a couple of tricks. Number one, high well-lit rooms didn't work as well for me because the cards kind of have a little bit of a light and dark aspect to them already. I mean, without revealing how they work. So I found that the more low lit room I was in, the easier they were to read. The other thing that helped me read these was doing that thing with your eye that you sometimes do with those mystery pictures or those mystery books. You know, when they say, oh, there's a boat in this picture, and you're like, there is? And they're like, oh yeah, so focus beyond the picture. Like you almost have to focus, like you're holding the card, you almost have to get your eye and focus a little bit beyond it, and then it'll start to take shape. You'll see it if you focus your eye just a little differently. I found that angled, I see the cards better. If they're not straight up and down, if it's tipped a little bit at an angle, I can see the cards better. You're gonna have to practice with it. Now I know I put that in the negative section. It doesn't have to be a negative. I know a lot of people love markings that are harder to read. Okay, I wear glasses and I'm an old decrepit man, so I kind of like things a little bit more visual, but I just gave you some clues and some tips on reading the back for you. Who would like this? I think anybody that likes cartomancy, anybody that likes mentalism, anybody that wants to do like reading style tricks without feeling too mystical or too spiritual would really like the identity deck. All right, that's everything I can say about the identity deck. Phill Smith, I purchased mine and I supported the Kickstarter, right? But like I said, they're available right now. You can head on down to Phill Smith's store. It's miscellaneousmiracles.co.uk/identity. I think they're $27 American, I believe, 27 bucks American. Head on down there and give him your support. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.